Hey guys, see if everything is working. Okay, we are live. Today I am going to answer a question that I get from my clients a lot. And this is my own personal opinion based on my journey, but I think that many people can relate to it or at least give them hope to relate to it. So the question I get asked a lot is, what does being healed really feel like? What does it feel like when you have got to that point of complete freedom in your life? And how how does that shift everything? Like what does that feel like in your life? So most people can't even imagine their life without trauma, without stress, without, pain and emotional baggage. It's simply, honestly, the way that we are wired. And as a society, really, like we are wired to believe that we have to live in this trauma, live in this pain, live in this, live with it. We are not allowed to let it go, right? And that's all that we are, that's put in front of our face. But the thing is that a lot of people don't realize is that ultimately it's our choice to choose differently. And and when we choose differently, we have a different life. So we don't fit in with the crowd anymore. We kind of become very picky with, who we let into our life and just what that looks like. So I think that one of the best things I can share with you is this one moment that I had years ago. And it was way back in, a big part of my healing journey. One of the more momentous, is that a word? I don't know. You know what I'm saying, right? Like one of the big momentum periods of my healing journey. And I remember this one day I was sitting in my office at the time. I had just got off the phone with a client, and I remember like literally like just kind of like for some reason I remember like touching my shoulders. I don't know why, but and I remember saying like, "Wow, I didn't know I could feel this free." Like I didn't realize that I could breathe this easily. And what I was feeling was like this elephant that was like sitting on my shoulders and my chest had just like lifted, like it just got up and walked away. And I remember just feeling this huge sense of like, wow, I can breathe. And it I never knew that I could feel that what I say is light. Like I literally feel like I dropped 100 pounds. And it was one of the most transformative experiences in my life. And I had ever that I never had. And from then on, it became so addicting to see like how much freer could I feel? Like, what else am I carrying that's not my shit? Like, what else is going on, right? And, it was kind of just a great experience and a great, like, just moment in my life to realize, like, wow, Ashley, like, all this work you're doing on yourself, like, you're doing something, like, you are really shifting something, and there's a quote that says, like, you don't know the weight until you felt the freedom. And I thought that that was a cool quote and everything, oh, wow, that's great. So inspirational. But until it actually happens to you, it doesn't like register. Like you don't realize, like, holy shit, that's legit. Like it's true. And so I just remember thinking that as soon as that happened. And it was really amazing. But, so from then on, it just kind of kept getting better once I got to that point of like, okay, here we are. We've come through all of the other layers and we're at a good place. And now it's going to get great. Like we're ready for greatness now. So, you know, this, this was, see, I was navigating in the dark basically through this time, and like when it getting to that point, it did take me a little bit longer because I was navigating in the dark. And I had no idea what I was searching for, what gremlins were in my closet, what limiting beliefs were holding me back. Like, I literally had no idea. I was doing this all, it was like I was blind. Okay. I didn't have anyone telling me, hey, this is what's wrong with you. This is why, you're having this. Like, I had to figure it all out for myself. But I had to also search for all the ways to figure it out for myself and all the tools and things like that. So that's what's really important. And that was so time consuming for me, that took me a decade to do so. But I this is this is why I am so passionate now about lighting up this path to clarity for everyone to follow. And it's a clear path, to clarity, to healing, the whole 9 yards. And along the way, everything else just seems to fall into place. The financial abundance, the relationships, the career, everything like that. It's a ripple effect in your life whenever you heal yourself. And it's not like oh, okay, I heal myself. Now I have to do all these other things. No, like it ripples into every area of your life and just completely makes transformations that maybe you didn't even think were possible. So your manifesting ability, uh, an ability to attract virtually anything into your life is magnified by like 10,000% whenever you are healed because there's no limiting belief standing in your way. And now, of course, you have things that pop up from time to time. I know I do, even now when I feel this great, I have things pop up from time to time. But the key is you know how to navigate them and work through them now because you have all the tools. And once you go through the grit of this, you got this. It's pretty simple. And but going through the grit alone really sucked. And that's why I'm here. That's why I do what I do, and that's why I love what I do, because seeing other people light up and just have these insane breakthroughs that even I didn't know were possible for them it's amazing. And that energy that is created through all of this is it's just wonderful. And they're able to take that and spread that to their families, to their friends, all the things. And it just makes the world a better place. And that's all I want to do. So this is me doing my part. And I always wanted to in a way save the world. And from a very young age I felt like it was my job to save the world. I realized that when you want to save the world, you end up creating a world that needs saving. And instead, you need to create paths for people to save themselves. So that's what I'm doing. And once I had that realization, everything just kind of was like a landfall for me, like a whatever that avalanche. That's the word I'm looking for. It was like an avalanche for me, and everything changed because I stopped trying to save the world and I created paths. I just duplicated what I did, put it down into this simple, easily duplicatable steps for other people to implement into their lives to create this massive transformative life that they want, to reach all the things, the clarity, the confidence and the money, the relationships, like all the things, okay? But it's wonderful. But some key points that led me to being truly healed, there are many key points to this, but this is just a few I'm going to go over, is number one, emotional stability and emotional resilience. And this is simply placing yourself in responsive mode instead of reactive mode. And this is hard for a lot of people because we live in such a reactive society, but it's life changing. And when you're healed, you put yourself first. So this becomes second nature to you. So this isn't even like, it's not even a big deal, right? But at first it is because we're not conditioned to do this. So basically, when you are healed, you put yourself first, and when you are triggered, you pause. So it's wonderful, and it's a really big key in being healed. The other thing is self leadership for your big life. If you're not able to trust yourself or discipline yourself, you can't expect to live in a space where everything else that works for you. And when you're healed, you will cut off anyone who disrupts your path to your own greatness. So anything that kind of comes in and throws you off your course, or any of those negative, people or whatever energies that come in, you cut them off. And that's it. This is you're leading your best life, and you don't let anyone stand in the way of that. And that's really important, and again, a big trigger point for other people, but that's okay. Healthy boundaries. All right. So you've probably heard me say this quite a few times. This is where you piss a lot of people off. And basically, I have like an A plus plus in this, right? If this were a class, and if you know me, like school wasn't my like traditional school wasn't like my thriving point, right? But like all of these things, I got it. So yeah, this is the class for me to thrive in. I don't shake my boundaries for anyone. And this is where you see a lot of people's respect for you end. And a lot of people can't handle that. So they cave in, they give into whatever the other person wants. And that is what I call a cycle. And you repeat these cycles and repeat these cycles, and they don't change. The thing is, when you're healed, you realize that you're a valuable person. You are worthy of your own peace, and you need to treat yourself like it. So you set boundaries, because when when you when you put so much effort into creating your best life and healing yourself, you don't let anyone come in and burn that down. Okay, it's just like you build this beautiful home. Are you going to let someone come in and have a campfire in it? I don't think so. It's the same thing. So, and I wrote an article on this whole topic because I'm so passionate about boundaries, guys. Like you're going to hear a lot about this from me. Another key to being healed would be like clarity on your life purpose and your path. So, what I've found is what you seek is seeking you. I've known from a very young age that I was meant to help a lot of people, and that all the pain and trauma that I went through growing up was for a purpose. And I intuitively knew this. It sounds weird, to be like at 10 years old, be like, wow, like I know, when I'm older, I'm going to use this for something. But for whatever reason, I was always really close to my intuition, and I felt that. And I would write books about this from a very young age. Like I'm talking like 6 years old, I have books that I was writing. And so it's very interesting. And as far as our life purpose goes, I believe that it changes forms. I don't think that there's just one life purpose, and once you accomplish that, then you're good. You're rock solid and it just sticks and that's it. Like, I don't believe that. I think that our purpose changes as we gain more clarity over our lives. And I know that mine did, and now that I'm healed, I see that I have lived out my purpose many times. And each time it feels even more aligned and even more freeing, even more happy, more exciting every single time. Okay. So, I was living my purpose whenever I was a heavy equipment operator. A lot of people don't know that about me, but that's what I did. Before this, that's how I met my husband, actually. So I felt like I was living my purpose then. I was excited, I was going for it, right? Until someone told me, oh, well, this is where you're capped. And then that was the end of that. But anyways, that's another video. So then I was living my purpose when I was a wellness advocate for doTERRA. And, I was helping people with their health, and, showing them like, hey, this is how you can make your life easier. I was living my purpose that way too. And now, being a life coach and helping people on a bigger scale, now I'm living my purpose even more. And I've never felt like this much excitement about what I'm doing with my life. So again, and I'm sure that it's just going to get more clear and more clear as I continue to grow, right? So yeah, that's it. You're good. You're going to find your life purpose. Um, another key point would be that you are free from yours and others' emotional weight and trauma. Okay, so, oh my gosh. So a lot of this emotional weight that we carry is not ours to carry. I found out not too long ago that I was actually carrying my mom's emotional weight, my grand's emotional weight, probably up from there. Who knows how far, right? Um, all of their emotional weight was on me. And And this is when I realized, like, this is why my path was so hard, because I was clearing all of these toxic generational patterns and crap that I didn't even know that was a word at the time. I didn't know what generational patterns meant, and, trauma cycles. I did not know what any of that was, but I was going through it and I eventually figured it out. And, that's when I learned about all that. And when you are healed, you see that it wasn't yours. And yet it was rolling my freaking life, and I had to let that shit go. So, yeah, we did that. The next point, moving on to this, from that would be passing on and influencing, our healthy emotional patterns. So, as a parent of two amazing young tiny human beings, right, that are like a sponge of, that absorb everything, I want them to have the healthiest childhood possible, right, in every way, including emotionally. So, my husband and I had massive amounts of emotional trauma in our childhood. And when you are healed, you see this clearly. When you're not, you kind of just repeat those cycles. So that's what really put a fire under my house, to dig into this and to go into my closet and clear out all of this crap that was not mine. So, and it's definitely not my kids either, right? So why should they have to deal with it? And I wanted to show them that, give them a free and open mental space to live their life. I didn't want to pass on anything to them. This is like they're saying, you don't want to pass on like physical diseases. Well, this is the same thing, okay? And a lot of times people don't connect the two, but a lot of times I call them emotional injuries, that's what they are from our physical issues are from emotional issues. So whenever you pass this stuff onto your kids, you're passing those things on to your kids. So they go hand in hand. So yeah, got to get rid of that shit too, right? So another key point would be, you use joy and happiness as your compass. So we're basically told not to do that our entire lives. Like, well, you have to go to school, you have to go to college, you have to work for 40 years and then retire, and then you can live your life. No, I wasn't about to be all for that. I wasn't about to, excuse me, just accept that as the norm and the status quo. And well, this is what you do. And no, um, no. So we're basically told, that money is evil, and it's the root of all evil, and you have to struggle to succeed, and the more you struggle, the more you deserve to be happy, and all this extra crap, right? These stories, these limiting beliefs that we are fed. And when you're healed, you're able to see that, or you're able to use joy and happiness and as your compass and say yes, 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 more, 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 and the universe will give that to you. Okay, but if you are literally limiting yourself and shutting yourself off from the flow, like, that's where you end up in the struggle, right? So that's what we don't want. And then the another key point is, there's only two more, would be a magnet for abundance in your life. We spend 90% of our time in asking mode. And when we are healed, when we're not healed, we spend 90% of our time in asking mode. When we are healed, we spend 90% of our time in receiving mode and only 10% of our time in asking mode. Okay. This is why things just manifest so much faster and miracles enter your life daily whenever you are healed. This is where it's fun and not a struggle. So it's beautiful. And the last key would be impacting the world authentically with yourself, your light, your personality, you, just you. When we are a hot mess, we are not spreading good vibes. Let's be real. We are not serving the world or even ourselves with anything, right? We are just a hot mess. And when we are healed, we are able to have unshakable clarity and tapped and tuned and turned on to our intuition that guides us to impact the world in a positive way, and we can actually do something about it. We can use it for the good. And, if you're a Ferrari, you don't do anyone any good by staying in the garage. Okay. So if you have all of these gifts inside of you that you might not even know that you have, as someone who was told, on paper in school that, well, you suck at life, basically, right? Because, you don't have straight A's or whatever. It kind of, derailed me a little bit to think, wow, I really don't have much to offer the world, right? That's not the case. Don't let anyone define your worth but you, okay? And everybody is worthy of their dream life. They just are. So this is it. This is the stuff. This is the grit that we go through, and we kind of shut down all those gremlins in our closet and we move forward. Okay. So that is what it feels like to be healed. And it's amazing. And that's just like a little bit of it, and this is what I dive into with my clients in, our Emotional Breakthrough Academy. We go deep. We go deep. We get out all those gremlins. We really kind of just clear everything out and create this foundation of just happiness and clarity, confidence, abundance, healthy relationships, all the things, which is amazing, right? So, you know, why are most of us not living in that space yet? I think that most of us are not yet living our dream life because, well, let's see, let's ask ourselves some questions. Do you feel like you have years of emotional baggage you can't seem to work through or even let go of? A lot of people feel like just because they let go of it, it means that it never happened, or that they have to forgive everybody and everything, and that's not necessarily the case. All of this is for you, for your benefit. It has nothing to do with anybody else. If you have a lack of courage and self-approval in your life, are you paralyzed with fear and overwhelm when it comes to moving forward? Do you allow your emotions to dictate your actions on a daily basis, leading to sometimes or always unhealthy decisions and impulses? Do you feel like nothing is ever enough because of lack of boundaries with family, friends, relationships? Like you're never good enough. Okay. Who is making you feel like that? How are you feeling that way? Okay. Feeling like, or having reoccurring situations that leave you emotionally depleted. Do you allow others to hold you back? Do you struggle with your self worth and approval of yourself? And are you ready to break through the emotional wall and own your life? So I think that in my experience, what the transformation happens when people realize that they are not what has happened to them, they are how they overcome it. You are sticking to this identity of who you were as this traumatized person or filled with trauma. And I say that like this because this is you, right? This was me. This was me. I felt like this small, right? When I was filled with trauma. And when I learned that it has nothing to do with me, nothing to do with who I am, what I do with it is who I am. And then that's when I started to grow. And my life was a freaking mess before this. I was emotionally depleted 24/7 while also being a mom, a wife, all the things, right? I would reenact my childhood trauma throughout every situation my life encountered, causing constant like stuckness, as I like to call it, and pain. I kept waiting for someone else to give me permission to be worthy, to truly live, and seeking approval from people that would never give it to me ever. Okay. Like, parental figures in my life that I was waiting for. Okay. Hey, yeah. Are you going to give me permission to do this? And they were never going to give it to me, but I was waiting for that. Why? Right. I allowed narcissistic people to disrupt my peace because I was told they are family and friends. So you have to. No, not a thing. Right. um, Boundaries. So I would self sabotage anytime I came close to a breakthrough. And that included, my course, my Emotional Breakthrough Academy course, sitting on it for 2 years because before I was actually offering it to the world. Okay, I would just hope and wait and search for that final layer of clarity to come over me and be free, so I could actually have a life. And that wasn't it. So I was a mess. I was a hot mess. But you're on the right path. And if you're in this group, if you're one of my clients, you're working with me and you're watching this, you're on the right path if you are ready to create that emotional stability and resilience, if you're ready to master self-leadership for a big life, if you're ready to set healthy boundaries for your best life, if you're ready to seek clarity on your life purpose and path, if you're ready to let go of that emotional weight and trauma, if you're ready to create health healthy emotional patterns to pass on to, your friends, kids, situation, all the things, right? And you're ready to use joy and happiness as your compass, and you're ready to be a magnet for abundance. You're ready to impact the world with your light, and you're ready to do the inner work, and you're ready to own your life again. So that's what I do. I am an expert at going from here to here, and having such confidence and clarity, because if I can conquer myself, believe me, showing other people what to do is very simple. And that's why I have created what I have created here with my business. So if you are ready to step out of the struggle and into thriving, you can go ahead to my Calendly link that is below the video and schedule your breakthrough call. I am here and ready for you. I am ready to cheer you on. I am ready to show up for you. I am ready to show you what is possible for your life. So know that I only pick a certain amount of people, very few people a month to work with, because my time is very tight and I'm doing all the things, right? And this is some serious shit. This isn't like, oh, la, 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 we're going to have a phone call. No, we go into all the shit, okay? We dig, we go deep. So I am very, very selective of who I pick to work with. Okay, got to be serious, but I'm ready. So I will see you on the inside. Have a wonderful day.